Hello everybody and welcome to the first extra video of Megaman ZX Advent, and this entire video is dedicated to the mini-games. After you've beaten the game once, you pretty much unlock all the mini-games simply by journeying through, and 3 of the mini-games are pretty mediocre. They're not really what I'm here to show off. But the 4th one, known as Megaman A, is going to be the showcase because it's pretty damn neat, pretty damn awesome, and I can't wait to show you guys. But first up is Gem Buster. Gem Buster is basically a multiplayer version of the Energy Converter arcade game from the very first ZX. It was this puzzle game where you had a whole bunch of rainbow-colored crystals. You had to drop, like, the same color crystal so that it would encapsulate another similar colored crystal, and you would get all the things in between, and there were gray blocks and stuff, and, you know, if you saw my playthrough for the first ZX, you know what it is. The problem with ZX Advent is that it is entirely multiplayer-based. You need to have another friend with a DS and ZX Advent, and, I don't have that. I don't know anyone who owns a copy of Mega Man ZX or ZX Advent in my hometown, so I can't really show that off because there's no single-player component to it. Survival Road is just a boss rush that counts your time. It gives you 2 sub-tanks because there's no health pickups in between any of these fights, but you're going from Buckfire all the way to Master Albert with only 2 sub-tanks, and you can be whatever form you want. You have Mega Man ZX right from the get-go, you have Chrono Force right from the get-go, and you're just trying to see if you can defeat all of the bosses, including the Biometals. This is not just the Pseudoroids, but the Biometals, you know, Albert himself. You want to see if you can beat all those bosses in one go with only 2 sub-tanks. So very intense, very intense. The 3rd minigame is Quiz Advent, where there are 3 methods that a Pseudoroid is going to show up very briefly, or it's going to be super gigantic depending on which one you're doing, but you have to identify the Pseudoroid or Biometal character that shows up, whatever your transformation, right? So the first phase is pretty easy because they just zip real quick on screen and you just identify what it is by seeing their image really, really quickly. The second part of the quiz, they'll have some kind of pose. They will be enveloped in white, and you have to determine from the the outline of the Pseudoroid what the Pseudoroid was. And then the third one, which is a lot more difficult, as you can see me fucking up constantly, they zoom in on the sprite of the Pseudoroid, and you have to identify what that Pseudoroid is from the very, very small pixel. Oh, of course, that was Model L! That was Thetis. Duh! And that's all the quiz really is. 20 questions, and you answer them, and you just get... It's just, you know, you have a time limit high score. That's pretty much it. Will you come back to this one much? Probably not. But those are 3 mini-games that they decided to include just so that they could have a mini-game tab in the title screen. Because, yeah. Oh, of course, it was Buckfire. Duh. But the real showcase, folks, the game I want to show you guys is Mega Man A. You unlock this simply from beating the game, but it also... The length of it is kind of determined by what difficulty you've beaten the game on. It's encouraged to beat the game on hard mode so that you can get the full adventure, but... Oh my god! Mega Man A is an 8-bit rendition of Mega Man ZX Advent, where you play as either Gray or Ash, and that kind of changes depending on what day you're playing the game on. If you're playing... I don't know what day it's locked to, but... Sometimes you'll pick it up and you'll be Gray, sometimes you'll pick it up and you'll be Ash. It determines entirely on the time on your DS. But, you are 8-bit Ash. You have yellow lemons, the pellets, you have the ability to slide, and that's pretty much it. It's going by Mega Man 3 logic with classic Mega Man. You don't have a charge shot, you can't wall jump. All you have is the pellet shots, the ability to slide. Spikes still kill you in 1 hit, and all the enemies do drop health power-ups, though. That is the good thing. You'll see health power-ups lying or on the ground that you can pick up to refill your health. No energy tanks in this mode, but they do drop small pellets of health, and they also drop big pellets of health, and sometimes they can drop an extra life, which is always swell and special. Again, spikes are instant kill here, but if you've played a classic Mega Man game, you kind of know how these things work. The physics are pretty authentic to what a classic Mega Man game is, aside from the fact that the slide is super fast and it goes super far. It's a lot more speedy and a lot more jumpy than the classic games were. Just the slide is, anyway. But, yeah! 8-bit Mega Man ZX Advent with an 8-bit rendition of Ash and Gray. I love it. It's fantastic. And of course, it has boss fights that are hidden behind the mechanical opening doors, which is always swell. And the boss of this minigame is Master Albert, but of course. Master Albert is surrounded by all of these diamonds. The yellow ones will actually bounce off the wall and go straight up into the sky. The blue ones will stick into the wall, and you can't damage them with your buster. They are acting as a shield for Albert, but luckily his entire body is not coated with diamonds. You can shoot in between them to deal out damage to this guy. And a great tip for Albert in either the first or second phase is that when the crystals, the diamonds that he's shooting, go forward, you can actually get behind him and shoot him from behind to deal out a lot of damage. And he doesn't really have a long invulnerability period. You can pretty much just keep laying pellets into this guy and it will drain his health really quickly. So if you can get behind Albert and just go just right into his back, you'll do a lot of damage really, really quickly. And oh my god, Metools! Oh, Metools, I love you guys oh so much. There are Metools in the main game. We did see them in the quarry level, where we met Vent, but we didn't see were the reappearing, disappearing blocks that I love oh so much. They have, you know, the pattern that you gotta memorize, and they're always above bottomless pits and spikes, which is always nerve-wracking, and it makes you want to tear your hair out, but some of them are pretty good. Some will have that bullshit one where they spring a block right above where the platform you're on is. And that's never fun. This jump right here, pretty tight. You have to jump right at the edge of it. You can't be too early or you'll fall right into the spikes. And there are spikes everywhere here. Again, instant kill. This minigame's kind of, it seems like it was a late addition to the game because there's nothing on the bottom screen. Like, the bottom screen is entirely black and there's nothing on there. And you can't pause the game. Like, literally, you can't push pause, you can't do anything to freeze the action. So if you're in the middle of a boss fight and then you get a phone call or something, you'll have to let Master Albert kill you because there's no way to pause the game. And there's no way to go back to the main menu without wasting all of your lives and dying. So it's kind of clumsy how this minigame is implemented into the main game itself. But, second phase with Albert. Now he has spikes in the middle of the room, so you have to jump over that. It's easy to fall into that when you're trying to dodge all the diamonds and stuff. He can now shoot the diamonds from up in the sky, and the yellow ones will still bounce upwards into the sky and disappear into the sky. Into the sky. Into the sky. But, again, a great tip. Get behind him when he's shooting diamonds, and you can, like, deal a lot of damage quickly when you're shooting him from behind. Otherwise, you know, take your pot shots. Make sure you're getting in between the diamonds when he's shooting them at you. It's always a little tricky when he's in the sky, because then when he sends his blue diamonds into the ground and you have to sort of tiptoe around them, you have to jump in the middle of them and stuff. It can get a little bit hectic and a little tight, you know. But yeah. I love the music. The music is the remix of Mega Man ZX's themes. It's Area A, which is the first level, and the boss theme. Whenever we're fighting Master Albert, that is the boss theme from the first ZX, and of course we're listening to Area A right now, even though we're in Ouroboros, the 8-bit version. It's good stuff. I mentioned before, you have to beat the game on Expert mode in order to unlock the whole entire thing. If you beat the game on Easy mode, you can only reach the first Albert fight. If you beat the game on Normal mode, you can reach the second Albert fight. But if you haven't beaten the game on Expert mode, you cannot reach the final area with the final Albert fight, which is what I'm going to now. So I had to beat the game on Expert mode in order to get this far, which is... Expert mode is hair-pullingly annoying. I've beaten Mega Man Maverick Hunter X on hard mode. I've beaten Mega Man X6 on hard mode. I've beaten a lot of Mega Man games on hard mode, and the ZX games, they're just too demanding of the player, if you want my honest opinion. Just a little too demanding of the player, and oh my god. You're welcome, audience. You're welcome that I beat the game on expert mode so that I could show this off. You're welcome. Either way, I love this minigame. I think it's interesting that Inti Creates made an 8-bit version of Mega Man before Mega Man 9 came out. Because again, ZX Advent came out 2007, Mega Man 9 came out 2008. I kind of think that's pretty interesting that this was the precursor. And now it's time for the final boss of Mega Man A. Master Albert has a Wily capsule! And he's got those homing shots from Mega Man 7 and Mega Man 8 that are so fucking annoying. But luckily they travel super fast, not as slowly as they did in 7, and you're a lot smaller of a sprite, so it's actually not that hard to dodge them this time around. He only has 2 attacks. He shoots the ball on the ground, which splits apart left and right, and you gotta jump over that, and he has the homing shots, but... Oh god! I'm sorry, Ash! I didn't mean it! Please forgive me! They even have an animation for begging Master Albert. Just like Dr. Wily, Albert will beg for forgiveness, and I love that. I love that a lot. So yeah, you don't really need energy tanks. You start off with 3 lives. You can pick up more lives as you go through the level. There's no difference between Gray or Ash's version. Like, if you're playing as Gray, you're still Mega Man 3 Mega Man. You still only have, you know, the pellet shots and the ability to slide. So nothing too crazy there, but I thought that was pretty damn fun. I love that minigame quite a bit, and I love that it's in the game. I like it a lot. I like it a lot. A lot of YouTubers show off this minigame with invincibility, and I thought that was shameful. You have to play the game the way it was meant to be played. No invincibility, damn it. Either way, folks, tune in next week when I have the second extra video showcasing everything else that the game has to offer. Till then,